Okay. Go ahead and try number 5 and number 6. We're gonna save number 7 for together, well, kind of together. So try 5 and 6 and then come on back when you're ready. Okay, now here's number 5. Our first fraction, the denominator, could have a GCF of 7, so I divided that out. And then our second fraction, the numerator, was a trinomial, so it needed to be factored using a multiply add chart. I have that right here. Got the rest of my arrow there. I'm multiplying to a times c, so 1 times negative 40 is negative 40, and I'm adding to b of negative 3. The way to get to 40 and have 3 spaces apart is 5 and 8, specifically a negative 8 and a positive 5, because when they add together, you're going to take the sign of the bigger number. Then I wrote it out here, so this didn't change. This didn't change. This became x minus 8 times x plus 5. And then this one became 7 times x plus 5. And then I canceled out what I could. So I had an x plus 5 on the top and the bottom. I had an x minus 8 on the top and the bottom. So that left me with x plus 7 times 1, so just x plus 7. And then on the bottom, I had 7 times 1, which is just 7. So again, I didn't realize we had so many in a row. This one also does not have a restricted value because nothing in the denominator makes our denominator equal to 0, because 7 will never equal 0. So that is the answer. And then here is number 6. This one I just showed you it re-multiplied as well. Looking at our first fraction, the numerator had a GCF of 7, which would simplify into 7 times x plus 2. Our denominator had a binomial that was already partially factored. We had x squared minus 4. That's a difference of 2 perfect squares. I know that because it's subtracting. The x is squared and 4 is a perfect square. It's 2 squared, so I just wrote that down. And then when you actually split that up, remember the only way to get it is plus or minus this number. And then this one was a trinomial. I did my multiply add chart, and that got me right here. And then we cancel what we can. So I had an x plus 2 on the top and the bottom. I had an x minus 2 on the top and the bottom. So that got me 7 times 1 times 1 times x plus 5 on the top. And then 2 times 1 times 1 times 1 on the bottom, which is just 2. Again, no restricted values because nothing in the denominator could be equal to 0. And remember, I'm going to give you extra credit on the practice if you remultiply. Here's what that would look like if you remultiplied. Good, let's look at number 7. This one is not more complex. It's just more factoring, which you already know how to do. So I just wanted to remind you that if you see a trinomial like we do here, we're always going to do a multiply add chart and then write it down. If you have something that's not equal to 1 in the front, so let's say you have like a 2 or an 8 in the front, you would have to do a box or a grouping. But for the purposes of our class, I do think those are a little bit too hard. So we're going to stick with the ones that just start with the 1 in front, so you can just do a multiply add chart. So go ahead and try number 7, and then come on back. Here is number 7, my double stacked little multiply add charts here. Remember, I'm always going to multiply to a times c and add to the middle term of b. Hopefully doing this many times in one question is helping you kind of reinforce that multiply add chart. Remember, if you're still struggling with that, I am so happy to help you in tutoring, as well as I have a video like playlist of factoring on YouTube if you want to go look at that, and that would help you. But I cannot stress enough that factoring is the single most important topic that you need to be able to do when you graduate to move into college algebra, which is the class most people take, because you gotta take one math class in college. Okay, so I wrote down all of my factors here from my multiply add charts. And then I could cancel out, let's see, we had an x minus 7 on top and the bottom. We had an x plus 9 on the top and the bottom. That left me with 1 times x plus 4 times x plus 3 times 1 on the top. And then on the bottom, I had x minus 6 times 1 times 1 times x plus 5. And then on this one, we did have restricted values. Remember, that's wherever our denominator is equal to 0, because that makes our expression or function or equation undefined. That gets me here. So I get x equals 6 and x equals -5. Those would be our two restricted values. What that looks like if you were to graph it is they would be vertical asymptotes. And then here, I have some opportunity here for some extra credit. Remember on our practice, just to practice ahead of time. You will get some extra credit if you want to remultiply. So this is the more simplified version of our answer, technically, kind of. Really, it's standard form. And there we go. Perfect. Hope this helped. Bye.